Mr. Dunbar.
Good morning, Carl.
Yes.
Yeah, nice to see you.
We have the CEO of Grid Metals. We're not going to be talking about the company today. If you're an investor, if you're a shareholder of the company, if you're just looking for new investment opportunities, Mr. Dunbar will be doing a full town hall webinar on May 14th at 7 p.m. You can go in the description of this video and you can find the registration link, so please sign up for that. I'm sure it'll be a great presentation, but right now we're going to learn a lot more about Robin and where he's from and who he is and what he likes to do for what are his hobbies. So where do we start here, Robin? Where are you from?
I grew up in Kitchener, Ontario, so southwestern Ontario.
Okay.
And I went to the University of Western Ontario, and my graduate degree in business at Dalhousie University in Halifax, and
okay.
So I've seen a bit of the country, and I used to tree plant out west in Alberta and BC in the summer. So
you've been out east and west. Any siblings?
I come from a family of 6 brothers and sisters, 6 children, same configuration as the Brady Bunch, actually.
Really?
So girl, boy, 2 girls and a boy. So yeah.
And were you close with them growing up, or still close with them?
Yeah. No, we're all around in Ontario, except for my one brother who lives out west. So yeah, we get together, and my mom's still alive and lives up in the Collingwood area. So yeah, we kind of rally around her for holidays and that type of thing. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So now, when it comes, because you went to school out east and you worked sort of out west, what's your favorite part of Canada?
Well, it's hard to say, right? I mean, the thing I think about Canada is each area is very distinct and has its own, wonderful characteristics.
Yeah.
Obviously I live and work in Toronto. That's, obviously a big urban environment. But our projects in the company are out in Manitoba, which is an area of, not a lot of people in Canada spend a lot of time in Manitoba, and it's a very, very interesting area, underpopulated, a lot of nature, a lot of rural areas. Winnipeg's a super interesting city, lots of industry. So, I really enjoy spending my time when I go out there to the properties and the time we spend out in Manitoba. But anywhere in the north, I like the outdoors and that type of thing.
So growing up with that many siblings, was your family very into like sports and athletics?
Yep. So we, I'd say I did a little bit of everything. A lot of soccer as a kid, and then I played football in university, but I also played hockey and basketball, and now I play racket sports. And as you get older, you leave the contact sports behind, right? So but I'm still active in sports, and it's a great keeps you fit and keeps your mind going. So that's something I work at.
So were you guys very competitive with each other, or not really?
Yeah, I'd say there's a certain amount of, I had a younger brother who's just a year and a half younger than me, so we were active in a lot of sports and together, and in the same schools and that type of thing. So that was we always had a certain rivalry, and we still do when we go play golf and various other things. So it's lots of fun.
Yeah. So who was the best athlete out of everyone?
Unfortunately, my brother, I'd say he was a better athlete than I was.
Yeah.
And he was younger, so that was actually quite annoying. So.
Well, I have 3 kids, and the 12-year-old, 9-year-old, 3-year-old, and the 9-year-old girl is super athletic.
Yep.
So the 12-year-old boy, he struggles a little bit, but he's trying. So
it's just good to get out, right, and experience different things. And
yeah,
really, as a parent, as you get older, you realize that the very odd and few kids will develop sports that they can do it professionally. It's almost it's a rounding error that the chances. But if you see your kids, there's 2 things. I think one for me is, the pursuit of excellence, which they can carry into other things.
Totally.
And then the creating a healthy lifestyle, and you see your pastimes and activities that you can carry on and stay active as an adult. And my 2 older kids are now in their 20s, and they've graduated and are working. And they both really enjoy, various sports, and it's great to see them kind of picking those up as a young adult. So
Absolutely.
you see their habits kind of develop, carry on. So
I would agree with all that, especially the discipline and mindset that they have if they're pretty consistent, growing up, right?
absolutely.
You're right. They're not, the chances of them being a professional athlete are very slim. Maybe they get a scholarship, but they can continue on that discipline. So you got 2 kids.
I've got 3 actually.
Oh, you have 3
Yeah,
kids. Okay.
yeah.
Boys, girls?
A girl is 24, and 2 boys, 22 and 15.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and the older ones have moved home now, so they finished school. Now they're working, and trying to save up some money so they can move out one day. But it's nice to have them home. A big change, and they go from kids to young adults, and it's a different phase in life, right?
Yeah.
You don't really tell them what to do anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a great phase because you can have develop the relationship that you're going to have for the rest of your life with your kids, and that's different than when they're young, right? So it's a great time.
Well, you've done your part in helping population growth.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a family. It's like super. It's the most rewarding thing in life, right? And
Yeah.
it's a blessing if you have a happy family and healthy kids, and we're very fortunate for that. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So you've been married? You're married?
Yep.
Yeah. How long you been married?
22 years.
22 years.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's a good amount of time.
Still going strong. Yeah. He hasn't
That's
booted me out yet, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other hobbies do you have, like as an adult now?
Yeah.
3 kids.
Yeah. So pretty busy at work, so I'll say that. I read a lot. I've got this wonderful library app that the whole library is on your tablet, so you can call up and search books. So I do a lot of reading.
What are you reading right now?
So I'm reading the biography of Keith Richard for the Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a Stephen King novel going, The Institute, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then I just finished a book on Ulysses Grant, which was very interesting, who was the head of the Union Army, and then he became the president of the United States. And so that was quite interesting as well.
And you're still into like racquetball, you said?
Tennis, really. Yeah.
Tennis? Okay.
Play a lot of tennis.
What about pickleball?
Play a little pickleball. I'm not as keen on pickleball. I like pickleball, but I still go on tournaments and things for tennis. So I still compete a bit. So that's really fun, and play a lot socially, and it's a very fun social game. And I play golf.
Yeah.
And
that's a good networking one.
Yeah.
Well, tennis too.
Yeah. Well, we have a very nice social group in tennis, and we go around, also play different clubs and get to know people and various things. So it's a very social sport. There's something nice about just hitting a tennis ball, taking out your...
I used to play tennis at Kew Gardens.
Yep.
In beaches.
Yep.
And there was this thing called the Peace Games, actually. And I was kind of a shoo-in to play tennis for what they called Team Canada, but I did that for a couple of years, and just a couple of good friends growing up, that was like, they were really good at it.
Yep.
So I was able to kind of learn, and I wouldn't say I was that good, but it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Canada's in a really interesting place right now. What's your take on this country that we live in and that you do business in, and where's your mind at? Especially you read a lot, so
yeah. So, I mean, obviously, in my position, you want to be aware of what's going on in the country, and particularly with respect to industry and the whole critical metals sector. And I'd say overall, for me, I think if you're born in this country, you basically, in terms of people on this planet, you've won the lottery right out of the gate, right? Because pretty much, if you come to this country and you get up early and you work hard, you can send your kids to school, you got medical care, you can support your family. It's not easy in places, but it's a peaceful society. It's a great place. Now, the problem the country has been having is productivity. So we're falling behind a little bit on productivity, and so we're looking for the right balance between social services and taxation and encouraging growth, right? And that's really, I think, the mix that countries in general, but our country is really looking for. So that's we're in a great place, and it's just having good policies that promote growth and opportunity for people. That's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you? What's your stance on sort of? I think McKinsey and a couple other groups were advising the Liberals back in 2015 to kind of get this country to like around 100 million people. What do you think about that? Like, our immigration policies, which they've since said they're going to pull back, but I mean, it kind of seems like it's causing us some issues right now when it comes to bringing people in versus housing them, right?
Yeah.
And jobs.
Yep. Well, I live in Toronto, and I mean, it's the people who live here with families and young people, it's really hard to find a home. It's just so expensive, and it's hard to build homes, and because of regulation and that type of thing. So, I think you have to look at immigration just in terms of, again, it's the right balance between bringing in, productive people and people who could add to the economy, and then being able to, house them and assimilate them and be fair to, the people that are here already. So it's a delicate balance, but everybody that's in Canada came from overseas, right?
Pretty much.
So it's like, that's not going to change, and again, people who come here work hard and get ahead and contribute to society. So it's just a question of, how you do that in the best manner, right? So I'm not an expert on, immigration, but you see, many different people from many walks of life, and everybody's contributing. So it's like, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Are you a foodie? Are you a pretty simple guy, or do you like?
Not really.
No?
I mean, my focus is trying to eat, healthy, right? So that's really the boys are, they're into their diet because they're always going to the gym and working out.
Yeah.
And my daughter is a celiac, so she has a different diet, and my wife is very careful about what she eats. So that, I kind of try to take the best of all that and not eat too much.
Yeah.
Stay away from the sweets, Carl. That's
I know.
it's a bit of a weakness, actually.
Bread is my weakness. But I go on a keto diet every from May till September.
Yeah.
And it gets the inflammation out, and because I play sports like softball and that, and I do notice a lot of joint pain if I'm eating carbs and all that, especially North American carbs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. And so you don't go to the gym, but you play tennis and stuff.
So
like that.
I work out in at home. We have, during the pandemic, we put in some equipment, and so I mostly ride the bike and and do light weights, and that's just to try to stay in shape. And, so I try to do that in the morning before I go to work.
Nice. It feels good too when you get it.
It feels great. Yeah.
We just bought a rower actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But so you got a stationary bike?
Yep. I'm one of those Pelotons.
Yeah. So what's that like? What's that experience like? Like, you get to participate with other people virtually?
Yeah, it's more the instructor that kind of has a suggested program, and they scream at you and tell you to go faster or not, and
But does it feel present in the moment, or is it like?
No, it's good. And the one thing I like, I mean, it's actually a very good bike. So it's some of them are really clunky, and you just feel like you're there. There's a lot of variation, and you can stand up and go hard, or take it easy, and they've got all kinds of different other classes too. So you can point the screen down and do some, you do some light weights, or you can do core, all kinds of things. So it's a good system, and it's super convenient, right? You just do it in your basement, and it's very efficient use of time. So
Yeah,
that's what I like.
I think they've got a great product and a service there.
Yeah, and it's like everything, right? I mean, people, they'll try to get the bike and then not use the program, and theirs is a subscription model, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Like I judge it by the number of times I use it in a week, and
See the value you get.
that's the value. And just for me, it's just putting a certain amount of time, and it's been good.
Well, speaking of a certain amount of time, I think this has been pretty good value here. We've got to know quite a bit about you. We're right by the office. Again, I would remind everybody that the town hall webinar with you and your company is going to be on May 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll be hosted by Ashley West. The registration link is in the description of this video, and you can find it in the post that we'll have on social media, or if you get it from our email, if you're a part of our email list. I'd like to say thank you for taking the time today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Carl. It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, I'll be on that webinar. Looking forward to an update and what's going on with Grid Metals and the game plan and strategy.
Be my pleasure. Thanks,
right.
Carl.